Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your update on Hurricane Dorian. Yeah, it's going to be a bad hurricane. Let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here. And we're at the National Hurricane Center. And we're looking at the storm right here. It's a well-defined hurricane. Let me get into the charts now. And let's take a look at what it's doing. First, the wind history chart. And you see that the red area in the center of the chart of the wind history shows it's widening out a little bit. And so the wind area, the hurricane force wind swath, is actually getting a little bit larger. You can see it getting a little bit thicker line, a little bit bigger and stronger. If we take a look at the plotting now and see where it's going to go, now on this it shows where the National Hurricane Center is predicting that the storm is heading. It's heading right toward Lake Okeechobee in Florida. And it looks like it's going to turn northwards, or northwestwards, and head up the state. Going to go up once it turns in. It hits Florida around Lake Okeechobee. It makes landfall. Then it's going to move northwards, slightly, not quite in the center of the state, but slightly toward the east coast of the state, and it's going to move up. It's going to move right up the state. It's going to travel right up the state. So that could make things worse, because that's a heavily populated area all the way up the coast of the state of Florida there. And this is a massive storm. This thing's a beast. Wind speeds are already up to 115 miles an hour sustained. She's at the center of the storm is 24.8, yeah, and 70.3 degrees west, 24.8 north. That's where the center of the storm is right now. And the movement is northwest at 10 miles an hour. So it was 13 yesterday. Today it's 10 miles an hour. So it's slowing down its forward speed a little bit. Okay, so that's what we notice, the vital statistics of the storm right now. Now let's head over and let's take a look at the discussion. This is very important, a discussion about the storm, because they give the wind speed probabilities in the later cycle of the storm when it makes landfall and stuff. So it says both Air Force and NOAA Hunter aircraft have been sending data from Dorian this morning. The flight level winds from both planes have peaks of 100 knots, and the minimum central pressure has been oscillating between 972 and 976 megabars. So 972 is very low pressure. That's a very low pressure, 972. So here we have the distinct wind speed probabilities. Before landfall, it shows a maximum wind speed right here of 140 miles an hour. This makes it a Category 4 at landfall. That's what we're looking at. But yesterday they were saying just a borderline Category 4. Yesterday. Now they've added more wind speed to it at 140 miles an hour. Means it's moving more into the Category 4 category. Instead of just being barely a Category 4, it's solidly a Category 4 when it goes up to 140 miles an hour. You know, I think it's 156 miles an hour a Category 5 starts. I think, don't hold me to that, but I think it's around that speed. But this is going to be 140 miles an hour on landfall. Now that's a strong Category 4. It's right in the middle of Category 4s. That's a bad hurricane, really bad hurricane. And even after it makes landfall and moves inland for a little while, it's still going to be holding up a wind speed of 125 miles an hour, even after it's inland for a little while. That's what they're predicting. So now let's take a look at the radar, satellite imagery of the storm, and I'll tell you what I see. You can see Florida here in the picture. I'll move the thing in a little bit so we can get a little bit closer look at it. This is, give me a second here. I'm moving in a little bit so we can get a little bit closer look at this. There we go. We got a closer look. Now, what I see here is, I see a distinct eye to the storm now, right in the center. You can see it. The very distinct eye has formed, and what we see is good inflow all the way around the entire eye. There's no open points where there's no feeder clouds. There's no open points on it. It's a good solid looking hurricane. I mean, it's well formed, and but it's still not a huge storm, but it's growing, you know. And we also see a bit of wind shear action. It looks like the wind shear is moving some of the higher cloud tops off toward Florida at this point. But there's going to be strengthening, according to the National Hurricane Center. So you haven't got a lot of time left to prepare for this. Bottled water can be a necessity, you know. Flashlights can be a necessity, things that you need. And remember, just remember, folks, if you're in low-lying areas, if they tell you to leave, the officials tell you to leave the area, you should be obedient to the officials. And anyway, you know, you guys, if you're in Florida, you haven't got a lot of time left to prepare. This is going to be a really bad storm, I think. Probably the worst one they've had in a long time. Listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.